Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's masterclass, and thrilled to say that this week we're going to be talking about the travel market, obviously a very important market for the MENA region. So I'd like to thank Sojern for taking time out to educate us all on what they know about what's happening within the MEA and MENA travel market. And that'll be probably the next sort of 40 minutes or so. Feel free to ask questions as we go. Also put some questions in the chat if you wish, and we can answer those towards the end. So just a quick reminder of what these masterclasses are all about. It's obviously provided by our members, and they volunteer to come forward to talk about knowledge that they've got that they believe is useful for the overall market. So these are not sales pitches, these are not sales narratives. These are very much about how can members help other members and the industry at large know more about itself, know more about the industry, and actually develop knowledge and skills. So thank you once again to Sojern for taking time out to educate us all on the travel market in MENA. I'd like to hand over now directly to Stuart, who will take us through the next 40 minutes or so. Thanks very much, Stuart.
Thank you, Ian. So today we'll be covering off the MEA travel and looking at specifically how we can unlock MEA travel marketing success, looking at trends, strategies, and insights for 2025. So my name is Stuart Smith, and I'm the International Managing Director for Corporate and Destinations at Sojern. I want to thank Ian and IAB MENA today for hosting us, and look forward to sharing the next 20-odd slides with all of you and what we will cover off during that time. So at Sojern, we're fully committed to helping travel marketers stay ahead in an ever-evolving landscape. Whether you're a hotel, airline, attraction, or travel brand, we're here to help. But honing in on today, I'll be specifically talking about our new State of Destinations report. This is the second time we've run this report, and it's been very well received by the industry. There's about 100 travel marketers who participate in this, and we'll be focusing on some of the insights, kind of learnings, and various other topics we'll be discussing throughout the next 25-30 minutes or so. So moving on to who we are, for those of you who don't know who Sojern are. We are a travel data marketing company, and Sojern helps travel marketers reach and inspire travelers throughout the planning journey and across digital channels such as video, social, and display. With unmatched visibility into the path to purchase, as well as travel demand and marketing insights, we help find the right travelers for your marketing efforts. Each month, we see around 350, 400 million global traveler profiles across our platform, and we integrate with about 100 or so different data partners and booking engines. So looking at the agenda for today, we'll start off, as I mentioned, discussing the state of destination marketing. We'll then dig into destination marketing strategies. So for those, just taking a step back, for those who are not familiar with destinations, they're basically tourist boards. So that's probably the more common term for them in our region. Challenges marketers are facing, as well as opportunities today and in the future. And then there's also an opportunity to download the report at the end of the presentation. There's a little QR code, which you'll be able to get your phone out and download the report. So the state of destination marketing today. Destination marketing undergoing a major transformation in the Middle East. We're seeing a shift from simply promoting top attractions to curating travel experiences with a more strategic approach. With rapid investment in tourism within the region, you've got Saudi 2030 vision, Dubai's long-term economic plan, as well as Qatar's post-World Cup, FIFA World Cup 2022 development. Destinations in the region are not just selling a place, but they're selling an entire experience. This shift presents opportunity for us as marketers to position destinations both as cultural and economic drivers. Looking at the Middle East specifically, I've got some stats to highlight, which kind of just show the growth of the market and where we're going at the moment. So if you look at UAE as a destination, we can see over 9% year-on-year growth in flights into the UAE. So steady and substantial growth, which is great to see. especially now considering we are working off a pretty high base. So that's fantastic. But what's even more encouraging to see is the growth we're seeing in Saudi. So international visitors grew 15% year on year. And then if you look at domestic travel within the region, that grew 38%, right? So that's a fantastic testament to the work going on in Saudi, investing a lot in low-cost airlines, connecting different parts of the country, as well as Saudi tourism's vision and drive to actually promote tourism to Saudis within Saudi, right? So they've got these, some of you may have heard of Saudi season campaigns. So that's all helping to boost domestic tourism. And another encouraging sign is that we are seeing people traveling into the UAE stay for longer. So now 50% of international trips into the UAE, people are staying longer than a week. So this is a fantastic opportunity for hotels and attractions to further engage with these travelers pre-trip or in market, and actually try and get some more spend of wallets out of them when they're in destination. So it's great to see that travel is growing within the region, but that strong demand is also matched by a dynamic marketing and advertising landscape. The Middle East agency market is estimated to be about $8.8 billion. And AI is playing an increasingly important role within the region, with $320 billion spend estimated across the regional economy by 2025. That is across all sectors, I'll caveat that. And also an interesting and exciting thing we are seeing is that 68% of UAE and Saudi travelers are now using AI to power their holiday plans, or at some point during the holiday planning process, right? They're using different type of AI tools. So that's super interesting, and a trend we'll dig into a little bit further as we go along. But with this growth comes complexity. So consumer journeys are becoming more fragmented, and the shifts in privacy regulations are making data-driven marketing more challenging. So this is where we believe AI-powered analytics come into play. So helping marketers refine their targeting, predict travel intent, and optimize campaigns in real time. So what does this actually mean for travelers? Simply put, competition is intensifying. We saw that firsthand during the Qatar 2020 FIFA World Cup, when a surge in demand led to a race amongst brands to capture travelers' attention. That was both pre-trip and in market. And with more travelers in market and coming into the region, personalization is no longer an option. It's essential. AI curation allows travelers to deliver relevant, high-impact messaging, and not only engage as travelers, but also will drive to further revenue for these destinations. So successful DMOs adopt a dual marketing approach. So simultaneously building awareness while driving specific outcome using more digital-focused performance marketing. Defining and establishing brand positioning also then can, in the minds of visitors and local stakeholders, help develop that approach, right? So taking more of a longer-term approach to the marketing. And employing sophisticated digital tools to deliver precisely targeted messages to the right time with the right audiences to create that correct brand perception that we do see across different markets. In MEA, this is particularly critical, and many destinations are investing heavily in infrastructure and hospitality, meaning that long-term brand perception is crucial. At the same time, digital tools allow us to engage with hyper-targeting, conversion-driven messaging. An example of this, again, referring back to Saudi Arabia and their promotional efforts, major investments are going into global marketing campaigns, also with sophisticated digital action to drive specific bookings. I think this barbell approach ensures both immediate results, but also sustained destination appeal. So looking at DMO spend on digital advertising specifically, what we can see here, and it's great to see, is, as we probably would have guessed, is 99% of digital advertising, of tourist boards actually using digital advertising 99% of their time, and over 50% allocate that to their marketing budgets, right? So not quite sure who that 1% who isn't using digital advertising is, but you can see it's by far and away becoming the most popular channel for destinations. And within that, 85% of destinations we surveyed maintained or increased budget allocations. And even in Europe, where we are seeing greater budget constraints, 72% of organizations maintained and increased their allocations. So looking at what factors influence longer term marketing strategy, there are things like change of behavior, destination product marketing developments, as well as national economic conditions. So changing behaviors, this is actually referring to travelers, right? So there's a big push in sustainability now amongst travelers. UAE is getting on the wagon there and actually changing a lot of their kind of content around sustainability to promote that a traveler who only wants to visit destinations which are seen as sustainable. You've also got like product developments and destination development. So like Saudi Arabia, for example, investing quite heavily in their Vision 2030. So how can the destination kind of start promoting all the assets that they have in line with kind of the destination developments which are ongoing on an ongoing basis. Looking specifically at some of the challenges in digital marketing, obviously there are many and they are becoming kind of more complex, right? So a lot of people are being asked to do more with less, and the amount of digital tools and advancements in these digital tools is evolving at a rapid pace. But I mean, touching on some of the challenges here, I mean, obviously demonstrating a clear ROI for a destination sometimes can be quite challenging. They do have multiple stakeholders, whether like, for example, in the Middle East, that's obviously the government, but then also kind of airlines, hotel groups, private investigators, or private investors, sorry, not private investigators, but essentially all people who are kind of trying to figure out, okay, we're investing in this, what are we getting back out of it, right? So DMOs don't necessarily have what we call a cash register or a booking engine. So it is more challenging for them to demonstrate ROI on the kind of marketing spend that they are doing. So we do see, for example, it's easier with a hotel or an airline where you can actually quite easily correlate the advertising to the booking. In DMOs, that's not necessarily the case, right? So what we are seeing is that a way for some global DMOs and even DMOs within the region have started to do it too, is that they are partnering with different types of booking engines or different partners to see, okay, what is the incremental search and booking uplift to my destination when we are running our marketing activities. So that's super important. And there are also other different ways where people are starting to demonstrate this because it is important for the different stakeholders. And then another challenge is analyzing data effectively. So I think it's not difficult for a lot of the destinations to gather data, but it is difficult for them to analyze it effectively. As we've seen, 51% have struggles in analyzing the data, 45% interpreting the data into actionable steps, and then 40% integrating that data from multiple data sources, right? So unfortunately, a lot of tourist boards and destinations, they don't have huge teams of data scientists, etc., to help them work through all of this. So it is trying to do the best with the resource they have and working with different partners to try and help them analyze that more effectively. And then it's navigating multi-channel complexity, right? So whether you are running advertising across, for example, Google platforms or Meta platforms or TikTok or Sojern, for example, right? Running across these platforms is very complicated. Sometimes a lot of them are walled gardens too, which adds to that complexity a little bit. And there's also a lot of moving parts which make maintaining consistency across channels very difficult. And teams must manage data integration across channels too, right? That making sure that they're delivering a consistent message, but then also tracking consistent consumer engagement across channels to ensure seamless experiences, while also, as I mentioned earlier, dealing with different platform rules and limitations. So It is difficult, but yeah, we're seeing a lot of destinations start to use AI to help them with this kind of thing. So it's an interesting trend we will start seeing a lot more of. And then I touched on earlier, tied into ROI, right, is addressing multiple stakeholder demands. You'll see on the right-hand side, CMO for Visit Dallas, some of the challenges that she faces, and like probably the biggest part of her job, right, is kind of dealing with all the different stakeholders. In Middle East, heavily subsidized by governments in some international markets, you do have different taxes on hotel nights and that kind of thing, which helps fund different types of marketing campaigns. So different areas do differ, but essentially there are lots of different stakeholders, all demanding slightly different things, right? If it's a small hotel looking to the tourist board to try and help them fill their rooms, or it's a big attraction park, right, trying to get visitors in during low seasons. These are all different types of things that the tourist boards and destinations have challenges with on a daily basis. So despite all the challenges, we do fortunately have lots of opportunities to look forward to, not only today, but in the future. And personalization is a big one. Although everyone believes that personalization is the key and will kind of help, and that's how the industry is evolving, only 15% of people we surveyed are currently using advanced personalization, or even less, only 2% using hyper personalization to get their message across to users, right? So we believe kind of moving forward, this will naturally increase, but at the moment it is quite complex, right? So I think in the Middle East, where we've got such a diverse range of people traveling into the region, whether those be budget conscious travelers or ultra luxury travelers coming in. If we're not kind of personalizing messaging and content to those users, then we kind of lose the effect, right? But if we do it right, and you are kind of driving that super personalization, and that everyone is receiving different types of ads, I think it creates a great brand perception, and means that people will come in and stay for longer, and also talk about the destination before they even travel. So that personalization does create stronger connections with the audience when we do deliver tailored messages and do it correctly. And then obviously embracing full funnel marketing, right? So I think this is key. A lot of tourist boards sometimes tend to be active in certain times of the year, whether that's trying to support tourism in low season, or really push up the bookings during the more popular seasons, depending on the different types of destinations. But although we do see overall within the survey, there was a slight decline in full funnel marketing as a primary approach. At least half of DMOs are still using it, which is great to see, right? Because I think we have to be conscious that a lot of people have different booking trends, right? You might be spontaneous and you might go to a destination and book it on the same day or within a couple of days. Others are more concerned with their approach, right? They might take a couple of months to make their booking, and they might consider lots of different destinations during that time. So being constantly in market, constantly kind of serving, as we were talking about earlier, personalized messaging to people at the different stages of that funnel helps kind of improve engagement, but then also make sure that people are booking and coming into your destination. So we do believe, and we're fully supportive of the full funnel approach, and then also kind of different types of creative messaging during that full funnel, or within the full funnel, is key to kind of embracing and building good brand perception or destination perception. And then obviously creatively engaging audiences. So when we do look at kind of what types of creative people are using, and kind of what the audiences are engaging with, video obviously comes up top, with 70% of people engaging with video at the moment. And then the other popular one is CTV, right? So CTV, I think in probably North America, very strong, maybe UK, but within the Middle East and within parts of Europe and APAC, it's on the way up, but I still think there's kind of a lot of way to go as far as share of wallet that C2B receives. But it is definitely interesting that trend is on the up. And then the way different destinations and tourist board within the region engage with these different types of creatives is interesting too. You've got kind of Saudi Arabia using more of a cinematic approach and highlighting all the fantastic things there are to do there. But then on the flip side of that, now you've got Dubai Tourism as a more established destination using a lot of influencer marketing, right, and retargeting tactically based on people who are engaging with those formats. So I think it's important to kind of look at this and obviously take video and see what different ways we can kind of serve that video too, right? So also not just having one type of video for everyone, different types of video and different types of C2B is super interesting too. And then kind of touching on AI, I think AI is a massive opportunity within the region, especially when it comes to not only content, creative, reporting, all these type of things are ways we can use AI more effectively in our digital marketing. And that doesn't necessarily have to be just for destinations too, right? It can be for hotels, it can be for airlines, it can be for attractions and various other verticals within, or industries within the travel vertical. So AI adoption is widespread amongst destination marketers, which is good to see, with 63% using it for content creation. It's already playing a major role in the MEA travel industry, from chatbots to customer service to predictive analytics to demand forecasting. Yet only 28% of tourist boards are using it for data analysis, right? Which is quite interesting because I don't know if you remember in the previous slides, we were talking about the major challenge is kind of analyzing data. Like 50% of tourist boards said that was their major challenge. So I think there's definitely some work to do here. And as we started adopting AI more in the day-to-day, that can definitely help with one of the pain points that destinations are seeing. And destination marketers that do integrate AI into their campaigns are able to process smarter, faster decisions. Expanding AI adoption in the space could definitely unlock powerful insights and optimize spend. Something else we're seeing really gain traction within the travel space is around curation. So what is curation and how can it help travel marketers reach the right audiences? Curation is basically the packaging of data, audiences, and inventory that brands and buyers can activate within their own DSP. These are delivered for those of you more technical on the supply side PMPs directly into the buyer seats of any chosen DSP. Curation we're seeing is transforming how travel brands engage with consumers, ensuring marketing remains personalized, relevant, and privacy compliant. By leveraging first-party data and curated audiences, brands can craft highly targeted campaigns that resonate with travelers at every part of their journey. And this isn't necessarily, again, just about destinations. Hotels, airlines, attractions can also benefit from curation by identifying travel intent and optimizing their offers and ultimately driving more bookings. Whether it's a DMO promoting cultural experiences or a hotel targeting high-value guests, curation ensures that the right messages reach the right audiences at the right time. And I think more importantly, looking forward, right, with the decline of third-party cookies, travel brands, destinations and hotels, airlines, etc., must rethink how they can reach travelers effectively. And curation provides a privacy-first solution, leveraging real-time travelers to create meaningful connections. For example, a destination might highlight family-friendly experiences to travelers searching for holidays around the school holiday period. Or it can be a hotel who can use curated audiences to promote different types of hotel room offers, from wellness retreats to business traveler packages, all based around kind of guest behavior. By aligning the content with real-time traveler intent, curation not only enhances engagement, but also ensures higher conversion rates and increased direct revenue for both destinations and hospitality brands. And the good thing about it too, as you can see on the slide, it can be activated across multiple different DSPs within social, CTV, etc. So you get good reach and scale through this in a privacy compliant way. So just ending off, so the couple of key opportunities and takeaways, I think, as we've kind of talked through this over the last 20 minutes or so. One, important, use personalization and curated technology to deliver high relevant customized experiences that resonate with the audience. Always maintaining kind of a long-term approach on how we're kind of doing that, but combining that barbell approach between that long-term strategy and also short-term performance metrics, right? Super important. Get on board with emerging formats. Says here short-term video, but obviously that's been around for a while. But I think definitely within the region, what's relevant for us is the involvement of CTV and how that is used to drive engagement. I think that's a super exciting area and something we should all be getting on board with. Using behavior data to deliver relevant content based on what users are doing online versus demographic assumptions. So it is really kind of taking a data-driven approach and making sure we kind of analyzing, understanding the data to drive campaign optimizations, but then also reporting back to stakeholders, I think is important. And then one thing that we didn't touch on in too much detail, but I did mention it once or twice, is location data. So very important, especially for tourist boards and destinations, as a way to improve targeting, measure performance, and uncover key patterns. So that's also a trend that's evolving too. And then lastly, as I touched on, is start adopting curation, right, to deliver targeted audience in a less cookie world, which is coming soon. Google may have delayed it for a little bit, but it's definitely on the horizon. And that will enable us to make smarter, faster decisions. So there's 5 key opportunities and takeaways we put into the presentation to cover off. And then just kind of ending off, we do have the State of Destination Marketing Report. So if you want to scan the QR code, it would enable you to download the report. As I said, it's quite hot off the press. I only got access to it about a week ago, so a lot of the content we have explained here is quite new. But there's over 50 pages of different kind of insights and customer case studies, etc., which are very relevant for anyone who's working with tourist boards. But even if you're not, right, even if you don't work with travel brands, it's super interesting because I think a lot of the opportunities and the challenges work across verticals. So I'd recommend taking a look at that when you do get a time, or at least downloading it, and feel free to share it across your teams, right, if you do have a chance to do that. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you learned a little bit about the MEA travel industry and also the kind of the trends which are facing the travel industry in general as we look into 2025 and beyond. Lots of super exciting opportunities to look forward to. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me or any one of the Sojern team you might know within the market, and we'll be happy to help.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Stuart. I thought that was really interesting, actually. There's a lot of interesting pieces there. The one that stood out for me the most was the use of AI, and it's not what I would have expected, actually. So you called out it's mainly used for content creation, but not for analysis and data management, which is the opposite of what I would have expected. That's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of relevant maybe more for destinations, but I think industry-wide, yeah, it's definitely is used for that, and probably will start getting used for it for a lot more.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity, I think, for anyone in that space. So thank you very much again, Stuart. Thanks. That's excellent. As I've said, this is obviously recorded, so these will be made available on the YouTube channel. So anyone who missed it can obviously access it on our YouTube channel after the event. It takes a couple of days to get there, but watch out for that in the next few days. And with that, thank you very much, Stuart, and the team at Sojern.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting us today.
Cheers.